What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Grind with your hosts, Slimzilla and Yeti.
What's happening, world? Welcome to the show. Good morning, Yeti. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. We got day 2 of our fantasy breakdown today. I'm excited to talk some more ball.
Yeah, but hey, before we get into all of that nonsense, there was breaking news this morning with Cam Newton being released from New England Patriots, giving the starting role to obviously Mac Jones. And obviously there's a couple reports out there. One, that Mac Jones was going to start, so Cam Newton didn't want to be the backup quarterback. And then also rumors, all reports, should I say, of obviously Cam missing training because of the COVID-19 protocols with the NFL, and maybe especially with Bill Belichick, how he likes that dependability, and sometimes especially with a veteran, if he knows that he's not going to get that from him, then obviously he'll look elsewhere. So just a little thought on that.
Yeah, well, it's the thing that makes the Patriots, and I always say, every team likes to say they demand dependability amongst their players and accountability, and they definitely like to show that they're punishing bad play or whatever. The thing that the Patriots that makes them different is they pretty much treat everybody the same.
Yep, equal play field.
It's not, we're gonna really make an example out of the free agent out of whatever college that we really don't think he's going to make the squad anyway. They'll do it to anybody, and they definitely like to make a point when it comes to the star players. Like they're not out of this thing, and if they got an issue with anybody, like they're going to let you know, or they're going to let you go just like this. And that's one side of it. Maybe that's what it is. There's a lot of things that happen when COVID is introduced, and honestly, if you're worried as a coach that your guys are going to go around it and they're not going to be thinking of the team first or whatever it is, it can create quite a problem. I mean, you got to think about a quarterback, right? A lot of teams are keeping 2 right now. I don't know what the Patriots usually do, but you lose one of those guys, the other one's going to start. Now you got to bring in a backup because you can't go without a backup at quarterback. That just doesn't, can't do it. You can't have a guy, look what happened to the Broncos last year, having a receiver do it. Like it's a mess. So you got to have a backup come in. That means you're cutting someone at the end of your roster that could have been one of your best special teams players. So, and you might lose that guy. Who knows if you get him back, if you can pick him up the next week. So there's a lot of different things that happen, and the Patriots are not one to wait and see.
They looking to wait.
No, like
it's instant, bro.
If they have an issue, they're going to take care of it. And it's also a good thing for Cam too. Like, who knows if maybe he was just beat out by the young guy. Mac might have beat him out, and if that's the case, they're giving him an opportunity to go somewhere else. He can pick somewhere else and start sometime this year, and so it could be a good thing for both. Who knows? We're sort of speculating a little bit on the true causes because that's what we do.
That's what we do. That's what true media does.
Well, look at us. This is great.
We speculate.
But so it'll be interesting to see what happens and what statements get made, or if any at all. But hopefully Cam will land somewhere where he can make an impact.
Normally we're the guys that are like, look at these 2 guys, man. They don't even know what they're talking about. And we become those guys.
Right, I know, it's so bad. But at least
what we do know is about fantasy. Well, you know more than me about fantasy.
Well, I got my my thoughts on it for sure. And so today we got tight ends and wide receivers.
Yep.
And just to go through a few of the things that I think make a guy more important to your fantasy squad, and maybe you want to draft him a little earlier. First, for the wide receivers, we got Tyreek Hill. Obviously, a guy that's just a straight up baller. It's pretty easy to see a lot of the reasons why you would want to pick him up. But also, like he's gonna make those big flash catches over the top. Always gonna go for a couple shots once or twice a game. Everybody goes for a couple shots. Probably more with these guys because he's so good at it. So he's going to get his plays there. He's also probably going to get double teamed a lot this year. I don't know who's the guys playing opposite him are good, but not him. And I think if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm going to be calling some sort of play where they're rolling a safety over the top and letting that underneath guy try to jam him, stay with him underneath the best he can. Because if you don't double him, he's going to create problems.
Is he the fastest guy you've seen in the NFL?
Yeah. He looks super fast, man. I know some people got short legs and it just looks like they're ripping, but the way he pulls away from other players is when you really see it, like it's just these corners just aren't even close.
This guy looks like he's getting off. Like,
right.
Just like he looks unplayable.
When he's running down the field and running with the corner, he's not even trying. There's like another gear. It's like he can't even full speed sprint the whole way because it would be impossible to put it out there enough for him. He's gonna be gone, So he's unbelievable for a lot of reasons. I'm sort of picking easy guys here, right? So Davante Adams is our next guy. I love him. I won a fantasy league with him and Aaron Rodgers one year because he was just going off with the back shoulders, and that's something that's always going to happen for him. He's so good at it. Him and Aaron Rodgers are phenomenal at it. It's one of the reasons why he's making the statements in the offseason he's making when Aaron Rodgers' status is up in the air. So that's a big deal. So he's going to catch a lot of those. He's also going to catch a lot of the quick outs and the little slant routes and everything in the end zone. He's definitely a go-to guy. If there's 3 plays in the red zone, at least one of those is going to him. So that's our wide receivers.
Let's go on to tight ends then, because there's a few out there. Obviously, most of when it comes to like tight ends, tell me if I'm wrong, you like the shorter plays, and obviously you have to be able to like block as well on the edge, that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. And these two guys, I think Travis Kelce, he puts his nose in there a little bit. Darren Waller, a little bit. Sometimes there's some guys on here that we usually mention, especially in fantasy, or mention the pass catchers. So it's they're usually not the guys that are having to block too much. There's usually a second tight end for that kind of dirty work. But these guys will put their nose in there. I'll give them credit. So first, Travis Kelce, obviously know him. Is going to get a lot of touches. There's going to be specific plays for Travis. The tight end screens they love to do, especially in the red zone, out in the field and the red zone. They're going to do those on about the 5-yard line. I noticed they like to do those in a bunch formation, and Travis will step back, catch the ball, 2 guys block, and he just plows forward. And you're betting that he's going to be able to run through a safety, And then Darren Waller, he's quickly becoming one of the best players in the league just because he is such a matchup issue. You can't put a normal cornerback on him. You need to have somebody big. Yeah, you got to get hands on him. You can't really run with the guy. He can run too, and he's so
seems like he can get like a deep threat, right, as well.
He can, yeah, because these smaller corners, even if you can run with them, these quarterbacks are good now. Like you can put it on that back, kind of the outside shoulder of the receiver, and I don't care how good the corner is. If he's short, he just can't cover the guy. He's going to reach over him and grab it, So he's a huge matchup issue. Plus, I think just from watching those guys, Derek Carr, if he spreads him out wide, there are a lot of formation-based stuff with Coach Gruden. And I would bet that Coach Gruden probably tells Derek, if he runs out there and there's a matchup, Darren Waller I'm talking about, if he runs out there and there's a matchup, he's on a short guy, he's on a linebacker or something like that, I would bet that there's a check that's like, all right, we're going to do this right now and run something deep or run a little slant and go, just give it to him in space and let him stiff arm a little cornerback. There's a lot of things he can do. So all 4 of those guys, ballers, awesome players. I picked easy guys to break down because they're balling every weekend.
But those are the people that people are going to be looking to pick up, right? And so if you say you picked a Tyreek Hill, would you pick Kelsey because they're on the same offense, or would you kind of spread it out?
Because you think maybe they'll take touchdowns away from each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely that thought. I also think with Kansas City, are going to score a lot of points either way, so they'll probably both get a lot of catches. I don't think that a ton of the other players on their team take away from them as much either. Like they're the top two, plus a lot of stuff to their backs. So I think those guys could both be okay if you did it together. But I'm more of a fan of spreading it out amongst different teams with some of that stuff. I think I would definitely take like the Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers combo is money, right? Because they're just going to do that all the time. Aaron's going to get he's money no matter what. But that was my combo, and of course I won the league with that. So I'm gonna always think like that's a great thing to do. Get that quarterback wide receiver duo.
How about say with Waller, because obviously nobody knows how the Raiders are going to do this year, and when you look at like your Green Bay and your Kansas, they're going to go deep into the playoffs for the most part. Like, do you still pick him up, or do you kind of have him and maybe like a backup?
Well, fantasies all through the regular season, so you don't got to worry about them making the playoffs to get stuff. But for the most part, everybody's pretty even when it comes to team. So I think the biggest thing that can make a difference between guys like this is basically going Derek Carr versus Patrick Mahomes, right? Like that's a huge deal. That's a big difference. So if you're gonna compare different guys from different teams, most of the time it would be the quarterback and the schemes they like to run. If they're dropping off a lot of those goal line screens to Travis Kelsey and let him plow in, that's a plus to him. I don't know if those plays get called on a lot of other teams, especially not to the tight end. So
we'll wait and see. Another day tomorrow of catching up of the fantasy football.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Vover.